Thought I would just enter the scene like this. Something very simple that I want to get across. It keeps refining. Here's the thing. We have too many people that aren't enlightened, and this means that they have the mind that they cater to. My cat again here. Hi, sweetie. And so I say, okay, did you hear what I said? There's a lot that I'm going to start refining about this subject matter that I know for sure, to make it simple, to make it concise, to make it so that a 5-year-old can relay it to the adults in case they notice how confused they are. Talking about just an individual. Okay, so God, God lives outside of our mind. Hi, Moo. She's not gonna let me fucking get this train of thought going. See, there's two people on this planet. One of them is a fully encapsulated mind, and they worship the mind. You can say that figuratively, but they don't mean to do this. They don't know. They just, when we say fully encapsulated, the awareness has been sucked in there, and there isn't any awareness anymore, but that's the mind there. The phenomena is that it's a very cold-hearted, it's not turned on yet. Basically, it's just a programming that has most likely been, I was going to say just falsely educated, but it's a lot more complex than having just now you're in school and you're going to sit down and do that. But that's what's the hand-me-down that makes sure to feed so-called red herrings to about how to do just about everything. How do we live? What's the answer to any question here? What's the cure, right? To if we want to be successful or something. So, God, you understand what I'm saying? There's two different kinds of people. I feel like Krishnamurti now is like he's just sat there. How long did he fucking sit there for 65 years and say, "I'm trying to have this conversation with you"? We hear it all around us. We see. I'm looking for my cat. Like, what's going on here? Is she gonna? I feel like the control system is gonna come and something is gonna disrupt. And no, we're gonna refine this. See, what I'm refining is that isn't there two types of people on the planet now? Isn't there men and women? Because my illumination says, my offering says that women have a different philosophy that doesn't. It's not even a philosophy. See, only a mind can come up with a philosophy because it's not connected to any reality at all. Now, the reason, see, we can keep saying this, but now, okay, so the philosophy of the mind is prevalent. It's more prevalent than the philosophy of the heart. The philosophy of the heart doesn't exist. There is the truth in connection to the heart. It's a very scientific electromagnetic thing that's going on. Because I saw a post that says something like, I can remember the post. Let me see if I can call it up here. And this person has this post up here, and I can't really see it right now, but they didn't say anything about the post. See, that's the thing. It's like if you post something that somebody else says, first see who said it. That doesn't matter, but, well, it does. It's like, was it a man or a woman? Because a man, if he's not enlightened, which means that he's been reborn into his mind, away from mind, away from the information, the false information field that is the mind. He's reborn and away from philosophizing about reality and about the truth, because you don't need a philosophy about the truth. You don't need a philosophy about reality. Now, what I just said there is like, I'll say it again. We don't need a philosophy about God. I'm going to keep refining my material um, about this because it's very serious to me. It's a very serious subject matter. It's like this needs to be done before we die, and try and keep handing it down because there's a few that will say the same thing that I'm saying. That it's just science. It's just science. You have a brain that nobody in the West is qualified to say that they know that they are one with the universe. See, there is just the low mind, and that's what I'm addressing. And see, is that one is never ever going to have anything to do with reality. It must see what I mean is God, Krishnamurti, and you people that have tried to do this for us. Do this. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, and it's going to refine more. I'm going to do it. See, the Dalai Lama knows I'm here. And I'm addressing the disease, the plague that is the mind. It's not narcissism. When you say it's narcissism, that's saying it's a who, and it's really a how. How has the confusion kept incubated and protected even? Well, that's a whole, it's a massive expanse of communication. Why does it persist? Hello, Kristen Merchant, everybody. Why does it persist that illusions take over so much that we still have all of the things that go on that are unnecessary suffering? Unnecessary suffering. There's already the suffering of the mind that we know that. That's where a lot of the unnecessary suffering comes from. But then there's unnecessary suffering on top of that. That's what I mean by unnecessary suffering. It's necessary to suffer the kind of like just your mind being knocked back and that your ego being it's necessary. That's something in order to learn anything outside of your mind hallucinating or merely imagining. And I tried to explain before that there's something that's been called Imaginazer's disease. I didn't make this term up. It means that there's too much imagination. It means that it has gone overboard. In fact, it's not pulling out of the wellspring of God's mind, which is an experience in reality called the truth and reality. You have to see now, kids, you're going to have to think about this. Think about it. You're going to Krishna. You're going to have to think about this. When you start out as a kid, you don't know everything. Your thoughts aren't creating reality. And they think a lot, but the fact is, see what happens is you have an information field of people, which are a false information field. They are minds. You have an impression of them after a while that uh, that there's something to reckon with, right? They're an information field, that's all. But see, reality holds these characters. And you learn that information field too. It's like, oh, this person kind of changes, and thank God they do that because, boy, we don't want them to be constantly boring, right? And then so I just threw that in because people think that you have if you that you have like one solid personality. It's like, no, you have many personalities. Just according to how you walked into the store and dealt with the clerk, and just go. Come on, think with me, please. So, what I am saying about that your mind needs to stand down. See, this is what women know naturally, and they have a power about them that scares the hell out of a mind. And who? Men, doesn't it? Yeah. I might have posted the video here somewhere, making some gnarly videos and posting them randomly across the board here on the calendar, but I'll tell the story again. Bottom line, just let me go general. I don't even want to say anything. I want to talk about the two different kinds of men. Yeah, two different kinds of men and women. One of them caters to the mind, And then from there they come up with philosophies about God and the truth, which is reality, and the floaty shit that is around them, that if they don't open their eyes enough, it will punish them if they don't see it. A coffee table, a step, something. You have a body. This is what meditation is saying now. And it's so strange to hear now. Mainly, I am not a biased person, but I'm looking at it. These men. I'm telling you, there's a philosophy on this planet, and it's mainly men, who are coming from this fucking darkness, and it's still darkness to this day. To this day. And guess who adapts it as their own? Women. And they can't. They shouldn't. They should know their position here, first of all, as opposites. And they do not, they know that you cannot learn without having an information field to fucking interact with first. It's called reality and the truth. And that is here. You kind of pop into it and pop out of it. You're as far as your spacesuit, you have a human spacesuit here, and here's reality. I always do this. I keep doing it. Should I keep just trapping myself? This is not reality. This is not reality, but this is reality. This is not, and this is not, but this is. Get it? Do you get it? If you ever got a glimpse, and that's your real life right there. The reality of reality. There's only one behind those, and there's many minds. And characters. Characters is the same. People. Ow, that hurt, by the way. Why did that hurt? You will qualify to be a powerful imagination. Your imagination is something that thinking hinders imagination. Those are two different quality things. Your imagination is how your mind is supposed to be used, and thinking is what your mind starts to do to use you. I'm going to continue on with this conversation. What I'm trying to say, getting back to, okay, just to wrap it up, and God, please, please, try to have this conversation with us. Because the masking of the mind, now who is it? I found something that is very peculiar, stuffed in our English alphabet, more like the language, more like when you see it written. The very basic stuff. And the most profound thing I come up with, I think I recorded it and I put it here. And it's getting jumbled up, but I'm going to start refining it. And you should too. You should start using your imagination more, and I'll stress, you cannot use your imagination unless you have plugged into reality and the truth. This happens, hopefully, by the age 3. By the age 3, your emotionality is sealed. And now you are to get into your body. What I mean is that your emotional life, like how that you think you should respond from having observed other people to emotions, is sealed. The way that you've been programmed, the way that you observed it, because you did first thing you did. You didn't say, "Excuse me, I would like some milk." You had to cry because there was a feeling you had, and those are the smartest things. Now getting into feelings, it didn't come from a thought. It come from an environment. They have a body. I'm going to keep talking about this because I see things and it's like, no, we have to stop this. Now, I say that the philosophy, it's coming from the philosophy of the mind, that we have all this confusion and or men. Men, our language, our documents, the way that now mental has the word men in it, not women. There's a case, so there's something else I can talk to you about this. I'm going to keep unfolding it. It's hidden inside of our I don't want to say language because that is literally the thing we use with our tongue. But what I mean is the basic structure that dances around, that language dances around, kind of and so to speak. What I mean is there is they, the, this, where, when. This is a very scientific thing I'm looking at, and it's saying in case you fucking stupid idiots get lost, especially about how what's like the oneness and how it's possible atomically and physically and the oneness that you are and the experiences themselves. Very complex. What the capitalizing of the letters will do for you. Mainly just realizing the upper spectrum. Now, it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it has to be somebody's, and it is on this planet. Why? And it has to be more and more. Because you go into the higher courts of law and you take your fucking intellectual property back. As far as, okay, so we know that there's one constitution and it happens everywhere. In the United States, that's what it is we have a constitution for what? Do you even know what the word constitution means? What are we upholding here? For the mind, or is it for the people that need a good environment to live in so that their mind can stay healthy and actually learn something real? Do you hear what I'm saying? Thank you. You do not give the mind to reality. You give reality to the mind. Women are adopting the confusion of the philosophy of the mind or man who is born, I hate to say this, they're apt to be, now, they're born without their intelligence, period. They're born without their own physical intelligence. They have to move into it and therefore start learning about the truth through their bodies, which is they can't do that through their mothers. Their mothers have to gently, more like, actually, no, not gently, babes. It's kind of aggressive and it might disturb you that the way that a real mother might respond in such a way if she's alive and well and she's indeed energy efficient in her body, not her mind. She's not going to let fidgeting happening. When she's feeding the child and it's done eating, she's going to let it go. She's going to stop it from making the child think that it's anything more or less than just eating. And that also, that she's not a dispensary after a while, is like, no, and your dad is actually working out in the yard out there because that's where it comes from, is the dirt, and we're all going to go and plant, and it's not just me here, right? And I'm not your intelligence. I'm not your body that gives you the things you're going to get. You have a different way about you, and it's over there. And you see what I'm saying? He's not born with that. See, I'm still learning now, because you can't say it's that he's born as a mental case. What's happening is he's getting confused after a while, right? Somehow the narcissism is happening through communications. I say that it's the blappity blap that is the babble field, includes the mind and people that think they know better than just their own feeling and instinct about their environment, what's going on, and just let the mind learn through that experience. Do you hear what I'm saying? Thank you. I love all of you.